we're building your defense against financial fraud. We're going to give you the essential playbook to protect your money and, maybe more importantly, spot the threats before they can ever strike. Okay, let's just dive right in because really, understanding the threat is the very first step to building a powerful defense for your finances. And look, the goal here isn't to scare you, it's to empower you. So here's how we're going to do this. We've got 4 main parts. First up, we'll identify the different kinds of threats out there. Then we'll build your personal defense plan. After that, you'll learn how to spot the warning signs like a total pro. And finally, we'll take a peek inside what an official investigation actually looks like. First things first, let's get to know the enemy, right? We're going to start by defining the most common types of fraud you might run into, so you can recognize them in a heartbeat. So this is kind of the big, broad umbrella term. It covers any time a criminal gets a hold of your financial info and misuses it. Think of it as the starting point for pretty much all financial crime, from a simple stolen credit card to really complex schemes with fake identities. Now, what's really interesting here is how specific account takeover, or ATO, is. This isn't just about someone stealing your information. This is a complete hostile takeover of your account. The criminal literally logs in and starts using it as if it's their own. Changing passwords and locking you out. It's nasty stuff. You might be thinking, checks? Who even uses those anymore? But trust me, even in our super digital age, check fraud is a major and surprisingly sophisticated problem. And it usually comes in 3 distinct flavors. And this really shows you the different tactics they use. They can create a totally fake check from thin air, or they can steal a real one and just forge a signature. But the one that always gets me is the altered check. They'll take a real, legitimate check that you wrote and use chemicals to literally change the name or the dollar amount. It's pretty wild. Okay, now that we know what we're up against, let's get to the most important part, what you can actually do about it. This next section is your personal security playbook. So this is your defense plan, and it's all about creating layers of protection. Number 1, and this is non-negotiable, use strong, unique passwords for every single account. Then enable multi-factor authentication wherever you can. It is one of the strongest barriers out there. You also have to be super vigilant about those phishing scams, the emails and texts trying to create a panic. And practice safe browsing. That little lock icon just means your connection is secure, not that the website itself is legit. Finally, just get in the habit of assuming public Wi-Fi is never, ever safe for financial stuff. All these simple habits, when you layer them together, they turn your accounts into a fortress. All right, your defenses are up. Now, you also need to be a good detective. You need to know how to spot the clues that something might be wrong, often way before a bank even notices. This is such a critical question because, the signs aren't always some huge, obvious charge on your credit card. Sometimes they're way more subtle, and you have to know exactly what you're looking for. You have to pay close attention to these red flags because they can be pretty sneaky. For example, if a bill suddenly stops showing up in the mail, that could mean a thief has changed your mailing address to cover their tracks. Other huge signs are getting denied for credit for no good reason, or getting calls from debt collectors about stuff you never bought. And of course, getting alerts about password or address changes you didn't make. That's a big one. These are the early warnings you just can't afford to ignore. So now let's pull back the curtain a bit and see what happens on the other side. When your own vigilance, or maybe a bank's automated system, spots a problem, a very specific process kicks into gear. This shows you just how methodical the whole process is. It's not just random guesswork. An investigation goes from that very first alert to creating a detailed plan, gathering all the digital evidence, and piecing together exactly what happened to build a case. And right here is the crucial piece of the puzzle, the SAR, or Suspicious Activity Report. This is the official tool that connects a bank's internal investigation to the government's crime-fighting network. It's how a company formally tells the authorities, hey, we think a crime might have happened here. And this number is key. The law makes banks act fast. They have just 30 days from the moment they detect a problem to file this report. This makes sure that law enforcement gets timely information so they can investigate and, hopefully, stop any more criminal activity. At the end of the day, while banks and law enforcement have all their big systems, this really brings it all back home. The most powerful defense, the very first line, starts with you, with the simple, proactive steps you take every single day to watch over your own accounts. We've covered a lot, but, knowledge is useless without action. So I want you to think about it. what is the one security step you're going to take today? Will you finally enable multi-factor authentication? Maybe update that password you've been using for years?